Sunak considering a summer general election, apparently, because he fears the United States presidential vote will hand a major publicity coup to Nigel Farage. He is, of course, your party and very close to Donald Trump, who looks as if he may well be the next president.
Well, if I were Rishi Sunak, the only thing that would motivate me into a June election would be a vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister. And I think he is on the edge of the requisite number of letters going
I totally agree with you, but within that scenario, Ben, how can you go to the country and say, give me your confidence, when the people in his own party doesn't have confidence?
I mean, Rishi Sunak is caught between a very hard rock and what's the expression? And a very hard place. Sorry, I said very and confused myself. But he's between a rock and a hard place. And anything he does, he's toast. This Conservative Party is broken. Even Suella Braverman, Priti Patel, Jacob Rees-Mogg are now sitting, according to the polls, in marginal seats. This party is going to be obliterated. And actually, Peter, they deserve to be. Look at the state into which they've delivered this country.
But if let's just say, for the sake of argument, sorry, Andy, I'll come to you in a second. I just want to finish this point with Ben. If we were in a scenario with this poll, for example, in the Sunday Times, that says that Labour could, in this mega poll, 15,000 people have been polled, and you're talking about Labour having something like 486 seats. Is that healthy for democracy? To have such a huge majority for any party?
Well, that's a very big question. Is that healthy for democracy? Well, that is our parliamentary system. First past the post. And that is what the people would have voted for. But I don't think that will be the result, by the way. The political winds are changing rapidly. People seem to look at each poll as if it's a static condition. Look at where Reform UK was in October 2023. We were polling 5%. We're now polling 16%. We're 4% behind the Tories. The Tories are sinking, we're rising. There's every chance we will overtake the Conservative Party in the national polls for a general election. That is a historic moment. That hasn't happened for 100 years. Yes, we've had moments where you've had protest votes, such as, for example, the European elections where the Brexit Party got a thumping victory, but that was a protest vote. This is the nation saying they're sick of the two-party system as it's being operated. And let me tell you, there's no enthusiasm out there for Labour. In all the by-elections that they have not increased their vote. What's happened is people are staying at home, and principally small c Conservative voters are staying at home.
Let's ask Andy about that. Andy, a lack of enthusiasm for Labour, do you think? Do you think that's a fair criticism from Ben Habib?
I think that probably is the case. I don't feel that there's a groundswell of huge support for for Keir Starmer to sweep into Downing Street. I don't think there's a great deal of love out there. But what I do think is that Labour has put itself back in play as a credible alternative, as an alternative who people believe can govern well and who aren't going to do any of the mad things that Jeremy Corbyn, for example, was proposing 5 years ago. So enthusiasm and love, no, but I think there is a respect and a credibility there with Labour that didn't previously exist. In terms of a summer election, look, I think the most powerful driving force for Rishi Sunak in terms of when he calls this election is a desire to cling on and be Prime Minister for as long as possible. I mean, it's not a job that you give up lightly. And I think the only scenario in which we see a summer election is, as Ben said, there may be a vote of confidence after what are going to be completely disastrous local election results on the 2nd of May.
We're going to do a new feature on this programme called Date of Destiny. Tech Up Dave is on his behind the scenes, is putting together a little animation for it, which we will have in a later date. But we just decided yesterday we're going to do Date of Destiny. We're going to ask people when we think the election is going to be. I'm going and have consistently said the 14th of November. So that is my prediction for the Date of Destiny. Ben, when do you think the election will be?
Well, I've put 5th of November on my sheet because actually if he does fear Nigel Farage, which he seems to fear, then he really wants Nigel fully engaged in Trump's election. The time to do it is when Nigel's most likely to be out of the way stateside.
Okay. Andy, what is the Date of Destiny for you? What do you think?
17th of October. I think we'll see Rishi Sunak come back from the summer break in early September, call the election. Thursday, the 17th of October for me.
Okay. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a Thursday, but traditionally it's on Thursday. Andy, do you know why it's on Thursdays?
I actually don't know.
I'll tell you why. Because when the franchise, yeah, I'm a political nerd. It's kind of my job. When the franchise was extended to the working man, most working men got paid on a Friday. So elections were held on a Thursday because that was the day of the week they were most likely to be sober.
There we go.
That's just a little bit of trivial knowledge for you. I'm full of those kind of ridiculous and pretty useless facts.